Hello everyone and welcome. Casey here with Modern Witch Doctor. So today I'm at River Fox Farm, a friend of mine's farm, and we are actually going to process some quail today. So we're going to show you the process that it entails and explain to you why these are an excellent, sustainable meat bird to have when you are interested in self-sufficiency. Guys, so I am actually at River Fox Farm here in Berryville, Virginia, and this is my friend Carrie. She is the owner of this farm. They are avid beekeepers, so they sell nukes and mated queens, correct, for bees, and they also are into heritage poultry. So today I'm going to have Carrie explain to us or ask her some questions about why quail is an excellent sustainable meat bird to have when you're interested in self-sufficiency. So Carrie, tell me about first the enclosure that you have the quail in. So this is obviously not a big enclosure. You don't need a lot of space for the quail. So I just really want you to tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So we got into raising jumbo Coturnix quail as a sustainable meat source and a source of eggs for our family. And this pen is, what would you say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so about 8 by 4 or 5 feet. We made it completely out of recycled pallets that had been donated by neighbors. That we did invest in this 1/4-inch hardware cloth that is buried about 6 inches into the soil, and we covered it with a rooftop that we did purchase that allows light to come in. Around the back we have a system that allows rainwater to be collected into a cistern that we can use to water the quail or water the garden here that you can't see too well, the early beginnings of a spring garden.
Excellent.
So we were interested in quail, particularly the jumbo Coturnix, because they mature at about 6 to 8 weeks to begin laying eggs, depending on the light source that they have.
So you're working with a lot shorter of a time frame than you would be chickens, correct?
Exactly.
Excellent.
And they can also be processed at that time too. So as you're raising quail in a covey, which is what we have, this would be an aviary style opposed to a cage style, that you want to manage your male to female ratios. So we've, after our girls' quail dinner this evening, have gotten our numbers down to about 1 male per 5 females, and that's what we feel good with now, and we'll see how that progresses. And in the meantime, that's
so how many quail do you think you could sustain in a containment like this size?
Sure. So quail generally need at a minimum 1 square foot of space per bird. If you are raising more for meat and like to have a larger space, would go up to maybe 4 feet, but 1 square foot per bird is good. And you always want to be checking your birds for injuries and overmating, or just generally their comfort and space.
Okay. So this is River Fox Apiary, and this actually extends over to the area on the other side. And they are excellent at raising bees and nukes. They offer them at wonderful prices and also mated queens. So if you are a beekeeper that has a swarm or loses a queen to unfortunate circumstances or just old age, absolutely give them a call. They are mass producing all of this, and this is what they do. Now it's time to get to the processing. Each bird is smudged and cleansed and thanked for its sacrifice today. Now for the dirty work. A sharp pair of shears simply removes the head, and we allow the blood to drain into a bucket. We then remove each wing, cutting at the joint, and then we will remove the feet, cutting at the knuckle. Now we're going to remove the skin. Taking my fingers up at the top of the breast, I simply split the skin apart. This actually is surprisingly easy and it pulls right off as a coat. If you have ever skinned a deer or any other animal for that matter, when the body is warm, the skin simply pulls right off. The quail is actually no different and very simple to remove the skin. Now I'm going to remove the back end, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut up each side of the spine. Starting at the top, I pull the spine out, which removes most of the entrails. What is not removed by the spine must be cleaned, obviously, by your hands. An important part you don't want to miss is 2 pink fluorescent colored areas on each side of the upper breast, which is the lungs. This is important to remove. There is also tiny little kernels in each side of the leg above the thigh that you must also remove. Once our bird is completely clean, we're going to rinse it off. Now it's time for dinner. We have a beautiful marinade of truffle honey, white wine, and butter. We then decorate our plate with some wild violets and some romaine lettuce. Tiny quail eggs are added to the top of our beautiful display. And we are looking forward to dinner. Literally from farm to table. 6-8 weeks, they're ready to be butchered, and you don't allow these birds to free fry, correct? Because quail actually fly, so they stay in this containment until they are ready to be processed.
That's correct. So we don't free range our quail. They would never come back home, and so they do stay safe in the aviary. Now they are birds of, they're much preyed upon, and so we ensure their safety by this 1/4-inch hardware cloth that is dug down into the soil so that nothing can burrow under. Okay. But we don't free range them. They're not like chickens in that regard. But
so that would be really good for people with small properties that don't have a lot of land to raise meat birds. You could easily raise these quail in a containment this size, which obviously does not take up a lot of room, and be self-sufficient on a small amount of land.
That's one of the amazing benefits about raising these Coturnix quail, and also they're not loud. And so unlike roosters who love to crow all day, which we have many of those also.
So that would be for noise ordinance, or if you lived in a community that had a noise ordinance.
Or in communities that do not allow chickens. Or roosters, because some towns
that makes sense.
do not allow roosters. So they're very quiet. They sound kind of like songbirds, and are really pleasant and sweet. And so they're very easy to care for. Not a huge
production
break
for
of
processing them. Or cheap to take care of.
Easy and pretty affordable to care for as a sustainable meat source. And so that is our primary purpose in raising these quail, for their eggs as well as the meat, which is very nutritious, and though very tiny, incredibly filling and so yummy.
Yes, and closer to what a wild game would be, so you don't have the the over I don't know the word, involvement of man, should we say, so it's more of a natural breed than you would have your hybrid over and over chickens that are raised for meat birds.
Right.
So
right, and wonderful as a either hobby or as a sustainable source of food for a family and for a woman to manage and handle. And I think that Casey's going to show you all a little bit about how we process and what that's like, and how simple it is, especially for someone who does not want a big production of a scalder, a plucker, and all of this. That it's very calm and quiet, and not a invasive process as processing chickens would be. Yeah. So while it's not pleasant and not our favorite thing to do, it's with purpose and with intention, and something that you can do in a very calm way.
Absolutely. And a great way to be self-sufficient. So we have to remember, survival plays a big part in even self-sufficiency. Survival is not always entering into the woods and eating the plants. Sometimes it is taking care of your family and sustaining your family on the land that you have. So I really appreciate this, Carrie. And for anybody that's interested, let's hear the name of your farm, where you're located, and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Carrie Fox, and along with my husband Nathan Fox, own River Fox Farm in Berryville, Virginia. And like Casey said, we specialize in raising honeybees. We sell nucleus colonies as well as mated queens, and also have a love for heritage poultry. And so we have some really cool special breeds that some of y'all might be interested in. And of course our quail, which are a newish addition to our farmstead.
But an excellent addition. And this has been such a cool event for me today. And I absolutely love the self-sufficiency aspect behind these quail. So I really thank you today, Carrie, so much for the involvement in this process and taking the time to really just show us what this involves.
Well, I love Casey, guys, and I appreciate her time so much, and just coming in and hanging out, spending the girls' day.
This was a great
girls' day, and just having a good time on the farm. So thank you all.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Hopefully it will make you rethink your sufficiency of your own life. And if you are interested in purchasing these kind of quail, please reach out to Carrie at River Fox Farm. She absolutely sells the fertilized eggs, so you are able to start your own herd at your own home. So until next time, guys, stay wild.